From gathering food to growing food, the earliest people. Gathering food and hunting. Thousands of years ago, all people lived by collecting fruits, flowers, honey, wild grains, and edible tubers, roots, hunting animals, etc. They did not grow any crop or rear any animal. Even to hunt, the hunters need to know the hunted animal intimately, its habits and behavior. The earliest people, over many generations, had learnt about all the things and taught them to their children. Tools. The earliest people used tools were made of stones, bones, and wood. Initially, large stones were given sharp edges by very careful breaking with another stone. The tools enabled them to cut flesh, dig the earth for tubers, and hunt animals. After thousands of years, they began to make fine small pieces from hard stone were called microliths. These are used for digging soils, chop the trees for the bark, remove the skins of animals, cut meat and bones, etc. Fire. The discovery of fire by the early people brought about changes in their lives. They made fire by striking two stones. They eat, roast a meat in place of raw meat. It was the beginning of the cooked food. They also used fire to keep off animals and provide light in the caves. Nomadic life. Earliest people used to live in small groups in the caves, under trees, under rocks, etc. They led mobile life, constantly moving from one place to another were called nomads. Paintings. The early people drew pictures of animals and hunting scenes on the walls of many caves and rock shelters. Different color stones were ground and mixed with animal fat and then painted on the rocks with bamboo brushes. Drawing pictures like these had some religious importance for them. Hunter gatherers in our times. At present, several groups of people live by hunting and gathering food in different parts of the world. In Andhra Pradesh, the Yanadis and Chenchas till very recently lived in this manner. Shared living. The women and men both participated in hunting and food gathering. Women and children were more active in food gathering and hunting of small animals. Hunting. Gatherers shared the food they collect with all the members of the group. They did not have any rich or poor among them. They were all treated equally. From gathering to growing food. Around 12,000 years ago, there were major changes in the climate of the world as it increasingly became warmer. It led great change in natural vegetation as large forests were converted into grasslands. These grasslands provided fodder for grazing animals like cattle, sheep, and goats. They began to contact closely with these grasses and animals. They gradually tried to control them. Learning to grow crops and tend animals. Men, women and children probably keenly observed the places where edible plants were found, how new plants sprouted from seeds, etc. They began looking after plants, protecting them from birds and animals so they could grow and the seeds could ripen. When people came into contact with each other, they learned from each other how to grow and use different kinds of crops and vegetables. Domestication of animals. When people sow selected crops and protect them till they bear fruit, or when they allow selected animals to breed and protect them from their own use, it is called domestication. Initially, people practiced shifting agriculture like the Padu and also combined a little hunting and gathering from the forest along with the growing crops. They had to combine farming with rearing animals which were needed for plowing, transporting, and for manuring the soil. Settled life. At the harvest time, they got so much grain that they could not eat it all at once. It had to be stored for a long period. This meant that people had to stay in one place and build houses to store the grain. When people are staying at one place became inevitable, they constructed huts of stones, wood, mud, and dried grass. Vessels were needed to store and cook grain, water, milk, etc. It led to making of pots. Cooking also required the making of stoves and stones for grinding corn, etc. They also found some grains which got over roasted in fire and thus were preserved for all these years. They developed new kind of tools called neolith. They selected the right kind of stone which was ground on rock to give it an axe-like edge with wooden handle and used to cut trees, etc. After the new kind of stone tools, that this period of early agriculture is called the Neolithic period. Earliest evidences for cultivation of crops from Balochistan about 9,000 years ago, Kashmir around 5,000 years ago, and Bihar some 4 or 5,000 years ago. Cattle were pegged in special places in which a lot of cow dung used to dry and accumulate and set fire on festival days, causing the ash mounds. Ash mounds are found in Karnool, Mehbubnagar, and Anantapur. Along with cow dung ash, Neolithic stone axes, stone blades, and rudimentary handmade pots were found.